Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica from the 104.5 The Zone studios as the Titans turn their attention to London. Wheels up on Thursday to face Baltimore at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Sunday for a Week 6 matchup before the bye week. In NFL news today, Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson being placed on injured reserve for a hamstring injury. He'll miss at least 4 weeks. Also, Dolphins rookie running back Devin Achane will be out multiple weeks with a knee injury and is a candidate for injured reserve. Also, the Los Angeles Rams are trading wide receiver Van Jefferson in a 2025 seventh-round pick to the Atlanta Falcons for a 2025 sixth-round pick, according to Albert Breer and several other reports. Jefferson, of course, a Nashville product out of Ravenwood High School. Tonight, the Nashville Predators' 2023-24 season kicks off at the Tampa Bay Lightning as the Andrew Brunette era gets underway. Puck drop is at 4:30. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
What's up, everybody? Blaine and Mickey on a Tuesday. How you doing today? Beautiful outside, beautiful inside. We didn't even turn up all the lights in here like we normally have. It's kind of dark in here. It's like Buck levels of dark.
At Buck's party room at his house.
This does kind of have a Buck's party room feel. Why don't we just call the studio Buck's party room?
Well, when we come through, it says it's Buck Rising Lounge. So, yeah, we'll just do that. And, yeah, there we go for us guys who can't see. So now we can see.
Hey, there's everybody. What's going on? All right.
Blind mice.
My eyeballs are still working okay, so I'm going to knock on. There's some fake wood over here. That's holding up fine for me. I'll take that. I got this far with no glasses or anything yet, so we'll see how much longer that lasts. But it's lasted so far. Ooh. You think glasses would help Christian Fulton? You think maybe he needs glasses? You ever see the movie Major Leagues and they have Wild Thing and he's throwing all balls and he can't pitch and they give him an eye test and then they put some glasses on him and suddenly he's the Wild Thing?
Yeah,
you think
was awesome.
Would that fix everything for Fulton? Maybe he just needs glasses. That would help him with those.
Well, the whole point is he keeps looking back at the quarterback and man-to-man, so I don't need you to look at the quarterback. I want you to be blind and just watch the guy, man. Don't look at the quarterback. He's not throwing to you in man-to-man. So, hey, man. Hey, Vrabel hit all the check mark so for me and what they're teaching him and explaining to him, and he's a vet. So at the end of the day, Christian Fulton's been in this league, had a lot of success. He knows what he's supposed to do. So to me, I think he's just pressing. When I say pressing at corner, sometimes you're trying to create a play and force a play when it's not there to be made based off the call, the situation. You know, he's trying to, cover every play. Every defense has a weakness in the passing game, and if the quarterback figures it out and hits your guy, then you just come up and make a solid tackle. Mm-hmm. So he's trying to do more than that. I think he's just trying a little bit hard. That's why I keep saying I'm going to give him a little more grace till we get down here because of his history. When he stayed healthy and he was available, he's always been solid. Mm-hmm. So now all of a sudden what has happened, I don't think his skill level has deteriorated. So to me, it's all about what's in between the ears and, mental focus. You just can't be falling asleep. He's saying that, he's making some mistakes even before here. So let's not forget, though. Now, we can say what we want to say. We saw what the Bengals did this week. How did he do the week of the Bengals, which is just a week ago? Mm-hmm. So, everybody acts like he's bad the whole time. You can definitely go back to the Saints game and the Browns game. It's everybody. So, at least, yeah. So, this is, the third time. So, I think I would be a little impatient going into this game, and then after about where I could sit down and thoroughly look at his plays that he was called, for pass interference, holding, and what have you in the situation at hand. But I think the guys behind will be just solid, but I don't think they bring the caveat of being just who they are as a player. They're not better than Christian Fulton, but they can be if they just do what's asked.
You and I were talking about this leaving the studio yesterday. And so we'll have time tomorrow because the whole first hour we got what caught your attention. So you could just start hitting us in the F&M bank chat. Guess what? Phones are working again today, 615-737-1045. So you can check in. Majin in the F&M Bank chat said his eyes are on that QB because his mental is on that contract.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Some guys' personalities, everybody, oh, man, it's contract year. Well, some guys are going to try to make stuff happen when that's, it's not going to happen. You can get lucky every now and then, especially at corner. There's some luck involved there. And maybe they'll throw you one through your film study, but he has to understand how teams are going to attack him now.
Sure.
I mean, with the double move. I'd rather be that he hesitate now, even if they don't run a double move, because now I can know he's up there defending what he thinks how they're going to attack him. So he's staying aggressive, which is what he was told, right, at halftime. Stay aggressive. I think that's what he said.
He just said he coached him on the double move. Was it stay aggressive? Was that the?
I don't remember.
Vrabel had just said after the game that he did coach him on the double move.
I don't know what happened. Like, Christian Fulton's game is somewhat similar because of his size. I think Adoree Jackson's probably a little more explosive talent, but they're smaller corners, very athletic, that, it just seems for whatever reason those guys don't work here. Hey, Adoree Jackson, I watch him play for the Giants, and every time I watch him, I mean, he looks really good and staying healthy the whole time he's been there.
There's very few people I've ever watched play in college and thought, I cannot wait to see that guy here, and like Adoree. And I love the Fulton pick, too.
Yeah, I would say I would agree.
I mean, I love both of those picks.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Something about the 5'11" guy, 5'10", 11 guy don't work here, man. I mean, I see him. I go, dang, man, Adoree looks good with them. I don't know what happened, man. So the same thing seemed like it's occurring here. So I'm hoping that he has a great game over there and maybe go across the water, wake up, things a little fresh, and then get off to a good note and have a good day. And then there's no more conversation about it, at least for a couple more weeks since they have the bye week. Because if he has a bad game, the discussion all week amongst the coaches and the DB coach and Vrabel and DC, what they want to do. That's why I said I'd give more grace. And then if you have to do something in this game, you can then have him right over there, see if he can see some things, take him out, put him back in. I just don't like that part back and forth. I don't like it. I really don't.
Friend of mine who was a college football player said, ask Blaine this for me, please. He said, how much would a player maybe keep an injury to himself, especially if he had previously been called out for being a repeat offender? I think he's suggesting maybe his hamstring doesn't feel 100% right, but he's like, I ain't telling anybody. They've already called me a repeat offender. I'm not telling anybody anything.
Oh, well, I don't think it's just Christian Fulton's. I think there's a whole bunch of players like that. I think that was the whole issue really with Burks and why he was dropping the ball. I have no proof of that. But that's just my feeling that he wasn't feeling healthy and that every time he stepped to try to dive, make a catch, it's pain there, and then it's taking his last, split second of focus off the ball. So, yeah, that goes on, all over the place. And it could be that situation. I don't know.
I think guys would hide him, too. Like, if I miss 2 games, they're going to put this cheaper guy in there. I'll never – I would be afraid somebody would take my job.
Contract year also. Being contract year, too. So, so here's the things that's working, for the Titans. That's what you would think that he's going to dig out of this. Contract year. Wants to prove that he can stay healthy. Whether it's with us or somebody else, he should have the best year of his career based off of just those buttons. He can go from making, I don't know what he makes, a couple million or $3 million, whatever he was second-round pick, a couple $1 million to making, 15, 10, 15, 20. Where the market is going now, depending on how well he plays this year and how available he is. So you would think all those things work in Titans' favor, whether they bring him back or not. I think pretty sure nobody believes that he's going to bring him back, whether he has a good rest of the year or not.
We were having this discussion yesterday walking out, and I said, I wonder, do they just – I would think he starts in Baltimore, or not in Baltimore, in England against Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it's like with if he has a couple bad series, or maybe they try a double move and the guy gets tangled up again and gets the call again, do they just, okay, we got to put somebody else. That's it. Hey, Trey Avery, go. Or do you wait until the bye week and say, let's try to get somebody as ready as we can? We're kind of having this discussion of, if you decide to do it, when do you do it?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I mean,
because Vrabel said after the game, Buck asked him.
Well, to me, it acted like Vrabel already made a decision, like he's not even starting this game. That's how it felt to me. That's why I kept on saying I wouldn't do that if it was me.
Because then his confidence, you say, it's just shot.
I mean, yeah, I think you could tinker with that a little bit. I think Fulton, reason why I say they tinker with him is because I think he's a pretty confident player. Mm-hmm. And you have to be to play that position.
Oh, yeah. You got to have supreme confidence to play cornerback.
I don't think he's going to take it as a bench. I think he's going to take it in and be like, man, hey, I'm fine. Because he basically said he was fine after this last game. So I don't think he's going to take it that way, and I think he'll be fine if he's out there, they put him back out there or not. I don't think it'll affect with him as much mentally as most, if I was making a guess, based off of his temperament so far. But I do. You can't mess with some guys. Like, yeah, I definitely know some guys.
They just break them, huh?
No, not actually break them, but it will be like, the body language is like, well, dang, I can't, mess up a couple times,
right.
And then in his mind that it would justify it, probably, and so you're going to give me grace, or you feel like you're blindsided. That's why I said that's not the case, because Vrabel's been, very upfront, which I appreciate as a player. So, yeah, he's told him, whether it's coming from Vrabel or his own coach. So it's a tough call for me. Only because the buys after this week, that's why I would wait. Mm-hmm. I really would. But a lot of coaches aren't like me. They're not as patient. Yeah.
Would it surprise you at this point if whatever time that's going to be in the morning, early, and you crack up in the TV and they say, okay, here are the Titan starters on defense, and he's not one of them? Would it surprise you at this point, or would you no, I wouldn't be surprised at all?
No. I just said that.
Yeah.
Based off what he said, he acted like he already made the decision to me, Vrabel. But I'm hoping that's not the case. I don't know why. Proven players in this league, as starters, I always want to give them a little more grace in moving forward, So, and then if we lost a game because of something that he did, then I'd kind of take it to the next level. That kind of closed the deal for me. Yeah. So, and I think that's what's happening now to him is he's getting plays going against him with the pass interference. Not necessarily touchdowns, right? No touchdowns. He may have helped some drives get touchdown. So he can't say he was beat. So now he's pressing to get pick six. See, that's what happens. And so guess what? A guy who gets beat, but then all of a sudden then he's also making plays, you kind of look at him differently.
Right.
He's not even making those plays.
Take a quick call. And we'll come back. We'll get into what caught our attention. You can do the same thing. I guess this has caught Alvin in Nashville's attention. Let's go ahead and bring him in. Got a question about some trade rumors. Is that right?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good, man. What you got?
Hey, I just want to ask y'all. I think I remember this is Blaine Bishop guy doing free agency. Do y'all think you could go after McCole Hardman from the Jets, the speedster from that was with Kansas City?
Yeah, he's from Georgia.
I believe that if we go out and get him, I know we need our picks, but if we just go get him, somebody stretch the field on the other side of D-Hop and Traylon Burks, somebody stretch the field, that'll definitely keep 8 out the box. So I'm going to hang up a list.
Well, I know you liked him.
Yeah, that dude was explosive at Georgia. I remember his number 4. And then I think he was 17 with the Chiefs. He's kind of had some injuries up and down. Nothing major, but just because I've seen him miss some games. I think last year was his ankle or something because I thought he was going to have a big year. So he was a free agent. I'm interested. Why is he not playing with the Jets? Like, did he get injured and then now he's healthy and now they've kind of moved forward? I don't know. But this guy is an explosive blazer.
He was a healthy and active against the Broncos this past weekend.
Or was that the first one?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's the issue. So they just like, well. So, I like him. I don't know if he really fits this scheme and system, but because Burks is kind of really that role. But nah, I wouldn't. But he is a burner. All I would say is he needs to work on his route running, being a little more polished with all that speed that he has, and man, he should be able to dominate. But for whatever reason, every year he's kind of got nicked up. You think, oh man, he's about to take off and really impact the Chiefs, which is a great passing offense with one of the best, if not the best quarterback, and Mahomes. Then he just all of a sudden he kept having, I think, hamstrings and some issues with muscle. See.
They just don't have a lot of draft capital to even trade. They got a 1, a 2, a 4, and 2 7s, and I think there was a potential comp 7th for a trade for Tyree Gillespie. I mean, I think they have 5 picks right now.
Yeah, I think I'm cool with where we are with receiver right now, even with the backup roles with Moore. Phillips hasn't even impacted the team really very much. You got NWI. I mean, and then when Burks come back, so I think we can manage through without him. Yeah, unfortunately. Even though I like him as a player.
All right. Mecole Hardman caught some attention. What caught yours in the sports world? 615-737-15, 615-737-1045, he said. Or you can hit us up in the FNM Bank Chat. You can follow us on Twitter at Blaine and Mickey or on Insta at Blaine and Mickey. Let's get this going next. We'd love to have your input. Blaine and Mickey, 1045 The Zone. Smooth disco sounds to get you through your Tuesday. Smooth sports talk sounds to do that as well. Tyler says the way the media talks about Farley, it sounds like we'd be lucky if he comes back this year. People have mentioned Farley several times in the chat today, Blaine. Honestly, I haven't seen hide nor hair of Farley. I couldn't tell you anything about Farley.
Oh, yeah. I have no idea where he's at body-wise or anything like that. So, yeah. I would expect he wouldn't be available this season unless something came up where they're not in the hunt at all. That's what my assumption was.
Yeah. Emmett says, Blaine and Mickey Burks, is he traveling to London? If not, what exactly is wrong? He's been injured, so that would be why, right? I mean, what does it mean?
Is he traveling? Do we know?
Don't know.
Is he on the injury report?
We don't get an injury report until tomorrow.
Oh.
So we don't get an injury report till tomorrow. Mike Vrabel was asked, what about Burks being available this week? He said, we'll see. You got to ask about
do some practices.
That's it.
Yeah.
What can you do? And
I would assume that he's going, whether he's playing or not. I don't know, but they're going to be still, rehabbing him, training him. Yeah.
I got super excited one day when the guy practiced, and you were like, look, practicing is only half of the deal. It's how do you feel after practicing the next day? Because some guys are like, oh, no, nope, it's swelled up again. I can't. Oh, no, can't go.
Boy, I sure left out like, oh, man, I'm good to go. Man, I went home, woke up in the morning like, uh-oh. Did a bee bite my knee?
Oh, was that the meniscus?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, man, I can't even freaking bend my knee, swelling all behind the back of my knee, and just, so you just never know, man. Every injury, it's its own story, and everybody's body is so different. It's no one the same. So, toughness and based off of what position you play, it's a whole bunch of, man, jeez. And then you try to survive without getting embarrassed. That's what happens. That's why I think we see so much roller coaster. I think a lot of these guys are playing injured, and they just this early in the season, they're trying to fight through it. And so we'll see a great game one minute, and the next team is like, dang, is this the same team? I mean, like, this is way like I can't remember the last time the defense looked like that. They got beat at their own game. The Colts out-physicaled them. I'm sorry. And on film, I do not see that. I did not see that anywhere from the Colts at all. Matter of fact, I would have leaned the other way that they were soft.
They'd given up 350 yards rushing in the previous two games combined. And the Titans didn't get 90 on them.
AFC South, man. They know that they got to get ready for the king.
Well, we always talk about the Titans are built the way they feel like they can win the AFC South. Well, so is everybody else. And if I was building a team, I'd be like, well, if we're going to beat the Titans twice, we're going to have to stop Derrick Henry. Mm-hmm. So they know what's coming. I mean, he didn't get a whole lot of carries in that game, but
they get up for him though.
Yep. I mean, that's what everybody in the AFC South's trying to do. Like, we got to see this dude twice a year. He said 1,300-yard games in the last 14, and I guess the only one that wasn't was when his foot was broken. Oh, no, we're going to give him everything we got today.
Yeah, but, I mean, the defensive line, the linebackers, and then the untimely penalties in the secondary, man, that was 3 layers of snafoolery. Like, ooh, if I was in D.C., boy, they would have got tired of hearing my name because I would have went around. I would know every player who messed up on every play that was a big explosive play. Oh, I would have had conversation with them. Just in passing. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like not in the film session, like walking past each other on the way to lunchroom.
Like in the lunchroom or in the hallway, in the weight room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I said, oh, man, have you talked to OBJ? What do you think he thought about what you did in the game versus the Colts? What do you think he's thinking? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. You better know you better bring your best because that was not what I saw on that film. That's what's implying. That's how I go at it when you're professional. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. You get it like, hey, man, you better figure out something because that ain't going to work because these dudes is even better than them guys we just played. Those dudes we just played were young. This dude trying to get a long-term $20 million contract on you. What you gonna do? That's how I be playing this thing, man. And then they got that young guy, Flowers from Boston College.
Zay Flowers.
Yeah, he was one of the ones that I like, but I knew we'd get him, so I wasn't even worried about that. He was first round of him, and I know everybody was down on Addison, but Addison proved when he was at Pitt he was legit. It's hard to just flip the switch and go to another team with a new quarterback and think it's just going to be, it's okay, great. He looking good in the pros.
Lamar, like they didn't have a lot to show for it on Sunday. Some people did some box score scouting. He had like 7 passes dropped. Lamar did.
You see, you got to go into it.
You got to look. And then Stephen A. and all of them were questioning, should they have given him all that money? He was throwing the ball right to guys. I think they dropped 2 or 3 touchdowns in that game.
3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns. Okay, they dropped 3.
Right. So he really balling.
I mean, Lamar is a sophisticated cyborg that was sent back in town. I don't want anything to do with Lamar. I mean, we were sitting here last week talking about, gosh, I mean, with the Colts, we're just talking about Richardson. I mean, how they going to – well, it didn't matter. Richardson was out there throwing. He and Gardner Minshew – this caught my attention. We can just start this.
Oh, okay.
He and Gardner Minshew were a combined, in this game, 20 of 26.
That's what happened when you're doing 7-on-7.
20 of 26. They were 8 of 13 on third down. They never went 3 and out in that game. The Colts didn't.
They was playing 7-on-7. You know, like when we go watch all these 7-on-7s, there's no pass rush.
Nope.
Watch this. Joseph, how many sacks they have and how many pressures?
They had 1 sack, Roger McCreary, and it was the one where he threw it out of bounds, fumble. And then they had 2 QB pressures.
That's like playing 7-on-7.
You don't even wash your uniform after a game like that.
I'd be like, bro, we need some help. If I was Christian Fulton, I definitely would have said, I need some help, bro. They up here double moving us because we know we can't get there. I'm like, dang, man, that's the first time I'd really seen us get, like, dominated, like, on defense. Even the Cleveland Browns, I can't say the defense got dominated. They just wore out. They got after them. I was stunned. And then that made it real tough for Gibby and Shees to do, and they were getting up in their face and getting them. I'm like, this is not good. So I'm going to give you a stinker when you play as a group at every level. So now that we had a stinker game, stinker defensive game, so now there's no more. Like,
And they can't.
Did we hear Big Jeff name?
Only we got hurt.
Dude, star dudes always show up, especially in those games. So I don't know if he's a little banged up or not. I know he laid on the ground there for a minute. I was like,
He got hit by his own guy in the shoulder.
Who hit him?
That's the hardest hit he had all day. Who I can't remember. Whoever
It
hit
had to
him.
be a DBR linebacker coming from behind.
It was, but I don't remember who hit him.
Oh,
But
man.
somebody else hit him on the Titans in that pile of people. And they suggested on Titans radio it was some kind of stinger. So, but no, didn't say his much. Autry, I mean, I love Autry. I think Autry.
Key, Landry on the Richardson. Was that a tackle for loss?
No, he was down the field.
Oh, okay. No, it wasn't a sack, but yeah, man. They hopefully a new team shows up. When I say new team, the one that always wins. This is considered a home game, by the way, right? For the Titans?
It's considered a home game.
So we won all our home games.
Well,
hey, man, we won all our home games.
again, what caught your attention in the sports world?
Oh, I got something. It's not in the sports world, though, but I thought this
it can be non-sports. That's fine.
I usually stay in the sports world, but I saw this one, and I was wondering if you guys heard of this, because I had not. I'm going to just read the title of this article I just passed by, and I was like, what? This retired couple. So, Mickey, you just a couple weeks
years away from that, yeah.
This retired couple that has spent 450 straight days. Y'all don't have no idea where I'm going. On a cruise because it's cheaper than retirement home and they're smarter than all of us. And I was like, is that true?
That is insane.
They were
Did you
on
say
a cruise for 450 days and said that's cheaper than staying at their retirement community. And they're going to keep on doing it for 2 more years. What?
Where are they, though? Is like a cruise of the St. Charles River, or is it?
I didn't read the whole entire article. Once I read that. Oh, talking about where they were taking a cruise?
Yes.
Oh, they were everywhere.
Okay.
51. They did reservations 51 times within a year.
Is it the same cruise, or are they bouncing
Yes.
from?
No, it's the same cruise.
Wow.
They stay the same way.
You think they?
They Australians.
Boy, I mean, it's 3 hots and a cot and entertainment and.
And I was like, man, I wonder if anybody else had heard of this. This happened in their first cruise was June 16th, 2022. That's when they first started. So they're still on them.
I know some people who've had to do the retirement housing route. Family members, and they're like, "Hey, man, this ain't no joke. What you're paying?"
They are on the Princess Cruises. This seats 2,000 people.
Well, you just gave some people some ideas, man.
Yeah, man. I can't
But
believe
that caught my attention.
that was. They kind of got the idea, like, I think because of COVID, too.
Okay.
Like,
Lonzo said,
wow.
I've seen a few stories about it with cruises cheaper than retirement housing. The only thing about cruises is, my friend just texted me, said they're on the General Jackson. My friend Jason. The thing that terrifies me about those boats, mystery illnesses, because sometimes you hear about some mystery illness that everybody
and then
gets.
everybody gets his own
This
boat.
happened before COVID.
Yep.
The time it was the poop cruise, like the poop plane that Lucas's friend was
Oh,
on.
I've never been
where
part of
all
that.
the poop showed up inside the boat.
Oh,
Joseph, you don't remember this? There was a poop cruise.
On
where-
a boat?
Yeah, the poop backed up and it didn't leave. It stuck around in the boat.
It got stuck.
Not in the tanks, though. It left the tanks and went to where the people were. The other ones, there's 2 more. One is, what if a storm blows up? Because occasionally that happens. And the fourth is, do y'all remember the one time the boat just tilted in the water?
Yes.
And they just were all like,
Oh.
nope. See, it's all hard nose for me. No. I don't think I could do it.
I don't know if I could do it either.
I'd have to be on the General
swishing
Jackson.
around and, I don't like nothing. I can't. It felt like the ground is moving.
Jeremy says that's old. My wife and I have been eyeing that strategy for 3 years. See what's new to us, man. We just found out about this.
Yeah, I was just like, I was kind of stunned. Like, man, put the word out there if this is true, or someone who's doing it, or thinking about doing it, or know people who have done it.
Something called Lumpers Elite in the chat says the ocean is undefeated. I don't mess with the ocean,
Yeah,
man.
me
There's
either.
tentacles and eyeballs and things down
do
there.
not. I know I wouldn't do it. That's like telling me to jump off of a 5th floor or something for
Dude,
me.
I don't know.
Would you do it, Joseph?
Would I stay on a cruise for 3 years?
Yes.
No.
Well,
But
that
it
was
stops.
quick.
It stops at different locations, by the way.
Do you get to get off the? You get to get off the boat?
Yeah, and then
No.
for
Well,
like a 24 or 48 hours.
You
or
got to
something.
think about it. Cruise, you're out in the middle of the ocean. You don't get any internet out there until you're close. Until you're close.
That's the
You don't
no-brainer
get any internet
internet.
until you're close to a shoreline, or you're coming up to a dock.
Oh,
And so sports out the window. Don't get to watch football. Don't get to watch anything out the window. Unless the cruise.
No, they get the thing with the
'cause I don't-
Dish Network or something and throw
It's
a
a big
dish
old
outside
dish.
Yeah,
the boat.
but you're
your phone.
you're subject to whatever they have. So if they don't have,
If I live on a freaking boat, I'm like, hey, Fred, here's an extra $10. Put it on the Titans game. I'm solving this problem. Young people with technology. What if I can't see exactly what I want all the time?
Oh my! That's what I love hearing. That's
Take
what I
a walk
love
around the boat. Get in the
love
wave
it.
pool. Get to know your neighbors.
well, I mean,
Speak
obviously,
to the other
but
people, man.
Yes.
You gotta-
Talk to other people. Take your headphones off. You take your earbuds
I
out.
can't. I couldn't do it. Couldn't live without watching my
He
sports.
can't live without Wi-Fi. That's
No,
what he
well,
said.
it's not the Wi-Fi.
Dude, Jeremy
It's
says
watching-
there's
it's
Wi-Fi on
watching my
every ship.
games
There's
when I need to
satellite
watch them.
Wi-Fi. Your reasons are getting killed off. You're just an antisocial. What do you guys are? You're not even millennials. You're the next thing. What are
He
you?
said the next thing. Like it's a
Is it
creature. or something.
What?
is it Gen X? Is that what you consider
Gen
me?
X.
I think
Oh.
you're way past that letter of the
No.
alphabet. You're like Gen Z. I don't know what letters are
Or
left.
Gen Z? Maybe that's what it is.
Jeremy is just killing us. Have any of you cruised before? No, because I don't want
Absolutely
poop.
Oh,
Mystery illness.
I've
the boat to
cruised before.
tilt.
I've twice.
I wouldn't do it. I saw the Poseidon Adventure as a kid, and that totally blanked me up for life.
I'm not gonna say I wasn't nervous, but but yeah, my wife wanted to go another. I was like, nope, I'm done with that.
You did it, though.
Yeah, twice.
Oh, my gosh. You took one for the team.
Yeah, I really did, and I was feeling uncomfortable. But I was cool once I got on there. My wife is the one who got a little sick.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You take mama some Dramamine, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had to. Well, it started because we went out after we poured it. Then we went on another little boat. We tried to see like some dolphins or something. she was like,
Oh, she got sick on the little boat.
Yeah, she was like, oh man. So
Nope.
we get back to the cruise ship. She's like, I think I feel sick. I was like, what happened?
Nope. No.
And that's not funny because that happened to me before, just to go out fishing.
I can't see the land.
In Miami, I went way out.
No, I don't want anything that's in the water that far out. I don't need it. There's no allure of that to me.
I wanted to go big time fishing with a whole bunch of people.
Did you catch like something that thought, I'm going to get in the boat and kill you with this thing on the end of my nose?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we cooked it. They did. We right there. We all was standing in the same place. And
survival of the fittest.
We drove all the way out.
Drive you back to the dock and eat.
I told them, do not drive where I cannot see land. They did that. And next thing you know, I was throwing up.
No.
I was like, man, this is choppy water out here, man. I was like, oh man. I said I did not. I want to be able to see. At least I could believe I could swim back if something happened.
Nope.
No, we're 25 miles out.
No way.
I was like, oh my gosh.
Bill just made all my fears come true. He said, I have not been on a cruise since 2010 when I cruised the Costa Concordia, and it sank 1 month later.
Oh, well, that's when they were having a whole bunch of cruise ship issues back in the day. But I'm like, well, I haven't been in a minute. I mean, years.
Was it around 2010?
Oh, no, I haven't been on a cruise ship in 20 years, 25 years.
I don't even know if I could watch an episode of Love Boat right now, man, after all this discussion. Here's BJ.
That's what catching your attention, I told you.
Yeah, I know. My attention is caught. BJ, are you going to tell us we're up the right tree here, or should we all go get on a cruise today?
I'm going to go retire on the cruise.
I think you should definitely go get on a cruise. I cruise about I'm telling you, I cruise about 2 to 3 times a year. I've actually got a cruising YouTube channel.
Oh,
and it's a lot of fun, man. And you worry about some of the stuff you're talking about, like that Costa cruise that wrecked. Well, that was the captain ran into something. He was an idiot.
Okay.
The other stuff, the not being able to watch football games, you're totally wrong there. One, you can get internet because you can pay for it
I stand
for
corrected.
the cruise. And if you've got YouTube, hey, right now NFL Network's on YouTube, so you can watch every game on YouTube. So you can watch it on your phone. On top of that, most cruises have sports bars on the cruise.
Yeah.
On the ship. So you can go watch just about every single game that's on the ship.
Oh, okay. So what's your YouTube channel?
It's like a floating hotel and mall all together.
Oh,
Okay.
so you
That's
love
it.
the idea, huh?
Yeah.
And Blaine, you were talking about you could be a little shaky and feeling the movement. Almost as big as some of these ships are, most of the time you don't feel anything.
Oh,
So,
no. That
they're
was
so
on a
big,
small boat.
don't
No, I
move.
know on the big boats you don't. No, I felt fine on the big boat.
Yeah, they're telling you guys, it's a lot of fun, man.
All right, BJ. Hey, what's the channel, man?
What's your YouTube channel?
It's Balcony Views with BJ.
All right. Joseph got it.
I got it written down.
Okay. All right. We're going to check it out. We got a TV in the studio. We're going to bring that up and watch his balcony views with BJ.
Ooh, man. So he balconies, man. He said he likes that idea with them boats, man. He said he'll take you out there with him.
I think Jeremy in the chat must work for a cruise company. He's just, you guys are wild. Most ships have bought the NFL package, the fire emoji. All right, Jeremy. AKA Captain Stubing.
Watch this,
Listen,
Joseph. Watch this. We're about to find out real fast. Have you ever been on a cruise?
I don't have the money for that.
All right, we'll finish this topic next. I don't have the Blaine and Mickey, I think a bunch of you guys work for the cruise lines. Our F&M bank chat is everybody telling us there's pills for seasickness, and you get a Dramamine, and you're good, and,
Oh, yeah, Mickey definitely can help me out with that.
This is just a hard no for me on the cruise. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeremy and Emmett and Vandy, man, and
Joseph.
Alonzo says if you do the cruises, go with Disney or Norwegian. It doesn't matter if Mickey Mouse is on there. I'm not going to smell his poop or get stuck in a ship next to Donald Duck because it tipped over or get some mystery illness from Goofy. Hey, you can go throw up.
Oh, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, see, nope, no. Joseph, what caught your attention since we had a distraction
of you being on all these cruise ships you've been on?
Yes, now that we're disappointed in you for wanting to separate from all mankind.
The Braves game last night caught my attention.
That was lit. Yes, it was lit. Tell us all about it, especially 8th inning. That's when I started watching it.
Zach Wheeler for the Phillies, no hitting the Braves through the 6 innings, and then they break through in the 7th, get a run. And then bottom of the 8th inning, none other than Austin Riley hitting the 2-run home run to take the lead after being down 4-0.
It was electric in that stadium. It was pumped up.
So
man.
the Braves put out a stadium video so you could hear the crowd, and it erupted. Like it was one of the loudest videos of a crowd I've ever seen.
Wow.
And then the play in the top of the 9th inning to end it. Michael Harris making the catch at the wall, jumping up, leaping it to Rob Castellanos of a hit, and then Bryce Harper not knowing where the ball was, and he didn't tag up. And then Austin Riley making per Joe Hunk, a Derek Jeter-esque play coming all the way over from third base to get the pass ball on the cutoff and just slingshot it over to first to end the game. And then the stadium, I think, was louder on the double play than it was the home run.
And especially probably because it was Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was big time, man. It was, it is jacked.
Normally I watch a bunch of playoff baseball, but I've been enthralled in these 49 straight days of football, and the Cardinals were so bad, it just kind of turned me on baseball. But I'll say this, there's Stanley Cup final of hockey is the most incredible drama. It doesn't matter if you like either one of the teams or not, but all of playoff baseball, just every second
insane.
of it is gut-wrenching.
It's absolutely chaotic, and it's beautiful. It's why they call October the best time of the year.
Oh, October's everything month. Speaking of that, you guys want an update on my 49 days of football?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I am currently at 18 games that I've watched since we started this exercise. I've watched football every day, starting October 4th. And what's today? Is today the 10th? So tonight, Middle plays La Tech. There's 3 games tonight. And I know that I will watch some or most, or I can't watch all. I got, children to raise and things like that. But there's 3 games tonight. La Tech at Middle Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
La Tech is Arkansas State's oldest and most bitter rival. So I want nothing but the worst for them all of the time. So I hope
I'll be watching that one.
Middle Tennessee, 3-point favorites. Liberty at Jacksonville State. Liberty played in the middle of the week last week. That's one of the games that I actually missed. It ended before I could turn it on. Liberty at Jacksonville State, 5-0 versus 5-1. That'd actually be a good game. That seems like a legitimately interesting game to watch. They're combined 10-1.
Oh, who's the last two? I'm sorry. I was reading the chat.
Liberty and Jacksonville State.
Oh, yeah. No,
And then the 2 teams that have kind of been the cream of the crop in the Sun Belt for the most part the last few years, Coastal Carolina and App State have been 2 of the best. Coastal is 2-3. App State is 3-2. All these games are pretty early tonight, 6 and 6:30. So I'll probably catch at least part of all of these games tonight. Then I can get my total up over 20 for my games. I will watch football every day during these 49 days, barring some type of personal catastrophe. That's my pledge to you.
What's been your favorite game so far?
Ooh, I've been making notes on all the games. Let's see.
I'm definitely not doing that.
I made notes. I'll show you.
Oh, I know, on your phone.
Yes, I take my phone out and I make notes on all the games. Man, that
I don't know. I haven't. MTSU got beat by Jackson State last. I was like,
Middle Tennessee had a player got hurt really bad in the game.
Oh, did he? Oh, yeah. They had a wheelchair.
Kellen Stewart. I hope he's okay. For sure. I need to do a Twitter search and check that out. But yes, that was a bananas game, the Middle Tennessee and Jacksonville State game. Jacksonville State, Middle roared out, and then Jacksonville State scored like 38 unanswered to beat them. The Arkansas at Ole Miss game, Ole Miss was wearing those baby blue jerseys that I like. You know me, I'm a jersey guy. There was kind of a lull of games on Saturday, like not really interesting. That game's always just stupid. So I really enjoyed the stupidity of that game. It was magical.
Well, since you're talking about Georgia, I saw that the orange sickles are back. They said they're
The creamsicles are back, for the Bucks this week.
Yeah, this week, yeah. I saw somebody put that out on Twitter. I said, Mickey be excited about this.
Oh, Mickey is beside himself. Also enjoyed seeing this last night. Former Titans linebacker Robert Spillane. You remember him?
Oh, yeah.
That dude's still out there. He had 2 picks last night for the Raiders. He plays for the Raiders now.
I was watching a little bit of that, yeah.
I was a big Spillane guy. You know me. I'm a patron saint of guys like that.
I liked him. He was solid.
All right, we got time to take one more quick phone call. We got Coach Mack coming up in hour number 2, just like 25 minutes away. But Jake in the Burrow, are you with me on this? Are you watching games as well for 49 days straight?
I don't know if about 49 days straight, but definitely like the 49 because 49ers got to be the favorite game right there. Just kind of links together, 49 days, 49ers. So that's got to be the best game so far for me.
Jake, that game, the 49ers are playing a different game than other people right now on both sides of the football. I kind of penciled in the Eagles for the NFC all year, all the offseason, like, boy, the Eagles, no. I think right now, if I had to put money.
They're 1-2 right now. I mean, they're the 2 best teams to me. And then you got
and I know they have the tush-push play. But the 49ers have scored 30, and we went through this yesterday. The Titans haven't scored 30 points in 23 games. The 49ers have scored 30 in every game this year. They took their starters out with 14 minutes left in the game on Sunday night.
I know. And
it's like, sorry, man.
How,
we damaged them enough.
Debo was going at Micah Parsons. Yeah, they were on the podcast. Like,
Micah Parsons got lit up in that game.
They did. Okay, when we come back, I want to continue this thought. Just everybody write this down so we don't forget where we are in the book. Micah Parsons. Plan for Micah Parsons. Because, well, let's finish this on the other side. We'll be back. Micah Parsons. Write it down. Blaine and Mickey 104.5 The Zone. Titans are going to practice tomorrow, and then they're going to practice Thursday, and then they're going to go to London, and they're going to play a football game on Sunday. That's what they're going to do.
Mm.
And Ravens are over there today having tea and crumpets. They're already there.
They already left?
Yeah, they left. Did they leave Monday?
I believe they left last night.
Okay. Yeah, Monday. Yeah.
Yesterday?
Monday night. Yeah, it's Sunday. It's today's Tuesday.
Oh, and
Yeah.
so now they're resting. This is their off day?
Yeah. Top tier says in the F&M Bank chat, the Ravens are relaxing, checking out Big Ben, eating beans on toast. I hope the Titans aren't like zombies on Sunday, he said, getting over there so late.
I wonder what's the theory behind when you leave or don't leave. You know, all those coaches kind of talk to each other, you know, about the itineraries. I'm sure it was made a long time ago, probably in the summertime or something.
We're going to have Coach Mack on. I wrote that question down because he would have been part of a bunch of staffs, and he's played all over Germany and England and everywhere else. So, man, I guess everybody's got their own philosophy.
Did we go anywhere? We never went anywhere.
You and me?
No.
No, we don't go anywhere. Oh, you're talking about the Titans.
When I was playing,
You played in Mexico, right?
Yeah, when I was a Waller there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember your Titans ever leaving
We never went anywhere.
this continent. No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Everybody's team is leaving the continent now. Owners are like, here's what we'll do. 17 games, and everybody goes somewhere now. Everybody. What's 18 going to look like then? Oh, everybody goes 2 places. How do you like Munich this time of year? Buenos Aires. People go, hey, man, NFL's, we're making billions, and our operation is pretty much in America. What if we just really spread this thing out? What's after billions?
How long until there's an international team?
Oh, the Jags right now, I'd be learning, I'd be getting my bus pass for Europe, my Euro rail pass renewed. I keep saying I think they're going to go. Blaine, you were like, they'll go back to Jacksonville, but they're just going to put a team there. It's what they got to do.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be building real estate, and he's getting to, put up some money to, I guess, build a new stadium or renovate the one they're at. So I don't know if you're leaving if you're doing all that. If you are, then they're going to get another team there. Yeah.
I would think if that blows up, though, all bets are off. Mm-hmm. Then what do you do, though, with the AFC South? Because that ain't south of anything. I mean, then all of us would get a trip to London every year to play them as the road game, the London Guard, a.k.a. the Jags. I wondered at some point, would they just have a division over there? A division, like 4 teams But still, though, that doesn't solve everybody else's travel problems.
Yeah, I was about to say and I think the Buffalo Bills this past weekend kind of showed the issues with the travel because Jacksonville was there for 2 weeks and Buffalo had to travel over there. So they were still in jet lag. Well, Jacksonville kind of got used to it. And you saw in the game, Buffalo looked sluggish.
They couldn't do anything.
They looked like they were moving in slow motion. I mean, luckily they have Josh Allen as their quarterback who's just a freak athletically and able to keep them in the game,
but he couldn't freak his way all the way out of that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, you could tell they were sleepwalking because that's, your body's on a time clock and it goes 8 o'clock. I'm supposed to be just waking up. And that's what time you're playing over there from here. See?
I hate it. And I never played pro football. Blaine, you did. I think in a game where there's so much at stake physically, I don't think you should fly people across multiple time zones on fields they never stepped on where they're really not made for football. I just think there's everything in the world wrong with it. I think you should play football in your stadium or the other team's stadium in America, and I think that's where you should play. I didn't even like remember they had an exhibition game in Canada a few years ago, and they got up there, the end zone didn't work. The field wasn't right. There was a hole where the goalpost had been in the middle of the end zone. They just forgot to fix the field before the game in Canada. So imagine the problems. I just hate it. I don't like sending teams to Europe. If you want to say we're going to start the We Laugh again, World League of American Football, and we'll just have it'll be a division of the USXFL, and they'll just only play each other over there. Then that's fine. And you're there all the time, and you're always on that continent, and the fields are made for you to play on. The way I'm at least maybe okay with that, but I hate the idea of sending football teams to Europe. I hate it.
Well, how are you going to grow your brand?
I know. I just send them a better cable package or something. Play some games. I don't know. Play a little earlier, a little bit later, and tell them they can watch when the game is on. I don't know. Everybody's trying to expand their brand. I get it.
Yeah.
I think
nobody ever thinks about, how much time it took to get over there. And then when you're watching them on TV as fans, I'm a fan. And then, I'm like, hey, I'm not even thinking about, man, I wonder what time they got there. Oh, man, this is 8 o'clock their time. Because every time I turn the game on, I'm just not turning. I'm going, oh, I forgot this game is on.
Right.
I'm like, man, you be playing at 7, 8 o'clock. So then imagine what time they have to get up. Now, all of a sudden, now you're getting up at 5. Now, all of a sudden, it's changing everything. It's not just when you're playing. The whole time clock. That's why you probably don't see till teams that it's affecting the most until after halftime. Oh, now I'm ready to go. Because guess what? That's the normal time kickoff, probably.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I get it though. They need more billions than what they already have.
They don't care about no time clock. Get used to it, bro.
Know. Yeah, suck it up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you who got sucked up into the play of a game here on American soil. That was Micah Parsons. We ended the last hour. We were talking about this. I said, let me bookmark this because I want to make a point. Watching the 49ers and the Cowboys play. Micah Parsons, you know how many sacks he had? 0. You know how many TFL? 0. You know how many quarterback hits? 0. You know how many different people hit him in that game? All of them. People came out of the stands to hit him. We were talking after the Titans played the Browns. That's what you call having a plan for somebody. Hey, man, everybody's going to hit him. Everybody. It'll be like that scene where Chris Tucker goes, which one of y'all kicked me? Remember that in the movie with him and Jackie Chan? Which one? I don't want to do it in his voice.
I know.
Which one of y'all kicked me? People were just hitting him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hitting him from
all different angles.
He was hot, mad.
Because he felt like, And this is when you say, we get the superstar, and we're going to see if y'all other players can beat us. That's what you're right, Mickey. They should have. That's the same players for Myles Garrett.
Okay. You want to hear the numbers for Myles Garrett? How many sacks you think he had against the Titans who had no plan?
3.5.
3.5.
Right.
How many TFLs do you think he had?
6.
He had 3.
3.
How many times did he hit Tannehill?
A lot.
5. Because they had no plan.
He wrecked the game.
He did to the Titans what the 49ers did to Parsons. He hit everybody in his way. Sometimes he didn't hit him. He just ran. He just ran around. He just ran around him. I was actually pissed watching that game. Like, this is what you do. Everybody hits this guy. And we kept talking about the thing with Myles Garrett. Like, you couldn't pull somebody and wham block him?
Yeah.
You couldn't have some mystery tight end come and decleat him like they did the lights out that time?
Double down on him and running right at him.
Yep. Nobody did nothing right at nobody. Sorry, that's bad grammar.
Did he ever get doubled in that game? I don't remember. I
Remember the tight ends was up there trying to.
Yeah.
They moved their motion that Schwartzy was laughing. You remember that?
Yeah.
I remember Jim Schwartz on the sideline laughing at the Titans, yes.
Because the Myles Garrett got up and moved to the other side, and the two tight ends didn't move.
You said go where he goes.
And then they went back. And then they went back.
You know those dudes are like, you said to go wherever he does, right?
That's where he caused the timeout, right?
Yeah.
So the Titans wouldn't get the delay game.
That's how you saw it, yeah.
Man.
Yeah,
That is having a plan, though, on both sides of the ball every game. You're scoring 30 points a game, and your defense is just smothering people. But offensively, they're so much fun to watch. And they got Debo. I love Debo. And McCaffrey is just he's so much fun to watch.
MVP candidate?
And then they hit the lottery of all lotteries, but they developed him, Brock Purdy. Mr. Irrelevant is and stop with the game manager and stop with he doesn't.
Man,
he does it all. Stop it. Stop that.
I was talking with a couple of my buddies that right now, effectiveness-wise, he's a top 5, maybe even top 3 quarterback in the league. Just pure effectiveness of the game. Maybe not talent-wise, but just pure ability to.
And he's just a baller.
To play football at a high level right now.
Yeah, he was throwing some, darts. It was like, whoa. Dang!
He was throwing those deep crossers where the linebacker is
right
there
over the
and
top.
underneath the safety.
It was
that is like football
beautiful.
porn.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
the guy who can throw over the linebacker and under the safety regularly like that, it is
consistently.
beautiful to watch.
Did he ever look like that at Iowa State?
I didn't see too much Iowa State.
Yeah,
remember they had that
I
running
can't-
back.
Because
can't see.
I don't remember very many highlights from Brock Purdy at Iowa
Well,
State.
part of that is he was in
what
the
I get
witness
is
protection program.
They had a lot of success while he was there, though.
Yeah.
I do know that. So obviously he was dropping something. And then he had a couple of receivers, I think, are both are in the league now. One just went like first, second round last year.
Yeah, there's some good players around him.
And the running backs with
He's got some
the
good
Jets.
players around
Yeah.
him right now.
Sure does. So, and I'm not picking on Iowa State. You don't get their games on TV here. It's just not something that we see much of in this part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
But holy cow. Now, think about that. They're doing this, and they missed on a first-round quarterback.
Well, that's why they afforded to trade him.
Yep.
They traded the first round, Trey Lance, who was on the other sideline. That was funny.
He got his hair cut. He was very clean. He was clean cut now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was about to get cut. All right, we got to cut this segment short. Coach Mack is set to join us next. We'll get his. What does he think about when you should travel to London? We'll ask him that and a whole bunch more next.
Hey, this is Blaine Bishop. I'm excited to tell you about Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, or as you may know them as TOA. And TOA has 29 locations, over 100 orthopedic physicians throughout Middle and East Tennessee to take care of all your muscular skeletal needs. In addition to those orthopedic clinics and urgent care facilities, TOA offers physical therapy, hand therapy, and sports performance training for teams and individuals at their sports performance centers. And as a former professional athlete, I know how important access to expert orthopedic care is. Whether you're an athlete, active adult, or just looking to get back to living your best life, you can visit TOA online at TOA.com, or you can call them at 1-855-NEED-TOA. That's 1-855-NEED-TOA. Just because summer is over, that doesn't necessarily mean your to-do list is. The Cool Ray team is here to help. They'll waive the service fee if your visit requires a repair. If you're having a plumbing problem that popped up out of nowhere, well, their plumbing team has you covered. Have an electrical issue you've been putting off? The electrical team at Cool Ray can be there for you. And of course, if you have an HVAC unit that is starting to struggle, they can repair that, all while waiving the service fee. And you can still save up to $1,250 on brand new Tempstar home comfort systems. Plus, they boost the 10-year parts and labor warranty on new Tempstar home comfort systems. So schedule your next visit online at coolray.com. No phone call, no wait, no worries. You pick the date and time that works for you. That's coolray.com.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Hear that music, you know it only means one thing. Coach Mack, brought to you by Two Rivers Ford, Middle Tennessee's most trusted local Ford dealer for 40 years. Coach Dave McGinnis joins us now as we bring him in.
Coach, you got to ask Coach about the boat.
Oh, cruise. Coach, you ever been on a cruise?
No.
I'm materially opposed to doing it. And I got grilled in the F&M bank chat. I don't want anything to do with it. What's been the thing that kept you off the boat?
Well, I just hadn't had time to do it. I'm not opposed to it.
Okay.
I mean, they look pretty big. I mean, it to me, I've talked to a lot of my friends that have gone on it. They absolutely loved it. I think it depends on what kind you go on and who you're with. I know a lot of guys that have taken their families on that Disney cruise that say it's the best thing they've ever done.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. You and I were texting back and forth. I know you, for people who maybe don't know your background, you spent a lot of years in Chicago, and you got to know some of the greatest Bears who are also some of the greatest football players who ever lived. The great Dick Butkus passed away, and I certainly wanted to honor him and to talk about him just a little bit because we haven't had you on since that happened. And I know he's somebody you were probably lucky enough to even get to know personally.
Well, I did. I spent a lot of time with Dick because when I went there, he was doing just what I'm doing for the Titans now. He was the color on the radio with Wayne Larrabee for 5 years when I was there. And so, basically, 4 days a week at least, and then all during training camp, I would talk linebacker play with Dick Butkus. I mean, that was a pretty good indoctrination into the NFL. I mean, and it was really cool. And then, he and Mike Ditka were very, very close. And then, when Dick left Chicago, he moved to Florida. But when he got into the movies, he moved to Hollywood. And so whenever we'd go out there to play the Raiders or we'd play the Rams out there, he had moved. He had a place in Malibu, and we'd always go to his place to eat. And then, he would take us out to places in Malibu. I mean, really, really a good human being. And of course, it goes without saying. I mean, iconic. I mean, great linebackers in this league genuflect to Dick Butkus in his game. Mike Singletary, Ray Lewis, just start naming them off. I mean, they all held Dick Butkus in very, very high esteem. And I was very fortunate for 5 years to be able to be very closely associated with him. He helped me a lot as a very young coach as to what it took, not only physically, to talk about linebacker play and the techniques and things like that, but what it took mentally to play too. And so he was, we've lost an icon there.
For sure. We're talking about defense and playing tough defense. You don't often see the Titans defense get gassed the way they did in the run game on Sunday, but that's what happened. Mike Vrabel was asked about it after the game, and even again Monday, talked about guys playing peekaboo around their blocks and getting blocked and not filling run gaps. What all did you see that went wrong there with the Titans' run game?
Well, he's exactly right. I mean, playing run defense, that's no mystery to it, and there's no magic pill to it. I mean, those gaps have not changed since football started. You've got to have everybody in them, and then you've got to be able – but you also have to be able to play knockback, and you got to get extension and, hat and hands and extend, and then keep your arm free in the gap that you're controlling, and then shed and get off of blocks. And then the second level's got to fill, where those gaps aren't, and so then you build a wall. But if you start peeking around the wall and start trying to run behind blocks, and then all of a sudden you've got cracks in your wall, and that's what happened. And the disappointing part, and I'm frustrated with it, very much so, is that really, when they needed to run it, they could run it, and that's that's not a good feeling. I mean, it's happened to me coaching defense before. Not a lot because you always take pride in being able to play good run defense. Blaine was on those same types of teams, but it takes discipline all across the board, and it's an all day job. There's no easy way around playing good run defense, and there's no worse feeling than having somebody be able to impose their will on you running the football.
Coach Mack brings us the Mack Attack every Tuesday at this time, and he is joining us right now.
Well, Coach, what's the I know there was a big discussion before the game started about the roof being open or closed. Was it open?
Yeah, it was open. And, I mean, they also had a band in the concourse that, one of Jim Irsay's favorite band called Dude. That he really thought that every time they played in the concourse, they won too. So he was pulling out all stops, roof, dude, everything he had. So, I don't blame him. I'm not sure it had a big effect on the way they played.
Oh, no doubt about it. We're on with Coach Mack giving us the Mack attack. Coach, I want to talk to you about when coaching in, a defensive back, naturally corner. Have you had any experience when they're kind of going through, pressing? I'm going to call it pressing and technical issues when you've seen them do it the other way. How do you help a player get out of that? What's some buttons you would try to push to get them, whether that individual works for that individual or any other individual? I'm just interested when you've gone through something like that, or any player, even at linebacker.
Yeah, well, you just can't try to manufacture plays. You got to play technique, especially on the corner and really everywhere, and then let the plays come to you rather than trying to manufacture plays and trying to, predetermine, what you're going to do as far as, if you're in man-to-man, I mean, you've got to get in phase and stay with your man and then look to break it up, and you can't look back at the quarterback. I mean, that's the number one violation in man defense is looking at the quarterback. You can't do it. You just can't do it. And then when you start doing those types of things and grasping at straws to try to make up for bad plays, then all of a sudden you see it start compounding, and that's just not acceptable. And the other thing that happens is, and you played back there some, and you know that any mistake back there is magnified because, you can make a mistake in the front seven. Now, we saw mistakes made in the front seven, and they were able to run the football, but that's grinding it out on you, except for that 56-yarder that was a gap violation, and you're playing +1 on the quarterback. But when you're playing back there in the back end, I mean, those things are very, very evident. And here's the other thing: if your opponent, and that's all coaches do in the box, and that's all players do on the field. You did it. You came out, you'd come out and say, hey, look, we've got this guy. This guy's struggling. We can tell he's trying to overcompensate one way or the other. Let's go after him. The only way you put that fire out is you've got to get back to your fundamentals, and you've got to start trusting what you know is right and will work for you instead of trying to make things up on the fly.
No doubt about it. We're on with Coach Mack giving us the Mack attack.
Coach, where were you in your traveling days and coaching days with the team on those European trips? Because people are kind of noticing some contrasting styles. So the Ravens were like, we're just going to go first thing this week. And Vrabel said, we'll practice on Thursday and then we'll go. What all goes about determining how you're going to do that?
Well, I've been over there. This might be my 6th time overseas.
Yeah.
So I've done it both ways. I mean, I've gone and spent a week over there. And then I've gone on Thursday. It's the same way we're doing here. I've also been on a team when I was in LA. We played Detroit at Detroit and then never went back to LA. We flew from Detroit over there to London. So I've done it all different ways, and it really first of all, your ops people, I mean, you've got to trust them and getting everything set up, regardless of how you go. But if I myself preferred, and you've got to, there's ways that you adjust your sleep pattern and your food intake and your caffeine intake 3 or 4 days before you go, so that you could, you go to sleep about 2 hours into the flight, and you can get it. I mean, it's not like you're flying to Australia. It's not 18 hours, and so you can do things on a shorter trip. And the last time I went with over there with the Titans, I mean, they played a good football game. They just didn't make a 2-point play at the end of the game. So and look, I know Harbaugh's going over there early because he went over there late. He went over there, for 2 days ahead last time and got drilled by Jacksonville. Now, I'm not sure that's, but the coaches, if they're successful doing it one way, they'll do it. If they're not successful doing it one way, then they'll want to flip and do it the other way. But look, I've done it both ways. I prefer going over, and doing everything you can at home, but also being able to do the things you need to do with your body and your sleep patterns and your food intake, your caffeine intake. All of that stuff matters. Because, I've traveled enough overseas to know that stuff matters too, as far as the way that you can combat that jet lag when you get over there. So I prefer doing it like the Titans are doing it, but there's no right or wrong way to do it. I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to be over there in place. I've gone with a team before where we stayed a week and it was way too long because, things happened that got you focused off of the ball game. So, as I said, I've done it 6 times, so I've done it every which way to Sunday that you can do it. I prefer doing it like the Titans are doing it.
Well, when they get over there, they're going to see the Ravens offense. What are you seeing with them under OC Todd Monken this season?
Well, first of all, I think Lamar Jackson's throwing the football much better than he's ever thrown it down the field. I mean, he really is. He's got some guys. I mean, they had 9 drops in that ball game they lost. Now, I don't think you can count on a professional team dropping it 9 times every week. They had 9 drops, and so that's number one. And number 2 is they're still making him an important part of their run game, and they're going to pull G schemes, and they're going to pull people out in front of him where he's the primary runner, much like some of these other teams are doing when their quarterback is a primary runner. So that makes you +1. Back there in the back end as far as defense goes. But the thing that I noticed about him is that he's throwing the football so much better. He's throwing the football on time. He's got some rhythm with his throwing. And as I said, he's got guys open. They had 9 smooth drops in that last ball game. And so you can't bank on that happening. But what you have to be able to do is you have to know that also you've got to keep him contained. They've played him before, and you know that anytime that he gets outside that pocket and starts moving, then all of a sudden it's the same thing as last week that they prepared for, when Richardson was still in the ball game, is the plaster on the back end. And so all of that stuff is still alive. And I'm sure they're looking at that last film going, you know what, we're going to run this football until they stop it. And so they've got a challenge ahead of them, but the challenge is it's really not the Baltimore offense. The challenge for this defense is to challenge themselves to get back to playing fundamental football like they have before.
Coach Mack giving us the Mack attack here on Blaine and Mickey.
Well, Coach, when you look at the Titans defense in the Colts game, talking about fundamentals, having your pieces to the puzzle too as well. How much do you think they missed T.R. Tart?
Well, I mean, clearly he's a big body that's in there, but I mean, still, somebody else is in there. It's the same gap. You still have the same people on the shade. You got, and really, it wasn't just one position that was the problem.
Right.
It was not a run, and look, you're going to be missing pieces all the time. So whoever else is in there, but everybody has to play their part successfully, especially for run defense to be well. So I'll tell you, more than missing Tart, missing a lot of tackles was a big problem too.
There you have it. So with that being said, and then Lamar Jackson looking great in the passing game, as long as he can get guys dropping the ball, how long of a leash would you have on, Christian Fulton?
I don't know. I don't know Christian Fulton as a person. And
I'm talking about as a player.
I haven't been in a meeting room with him. So I don't know what's going on. I know this. That you cannot. This is a production league. I mean, this is a production league, and if you're not producing, then sooner or later somebody else is going to be in your spot. I have no idea how long his leash is, but I know that he can't be happy with what's transpired.
No doubt about it. Now, let's talk a little bit, Coach, about the red zone, which the Titans have had a lot of success at coming into the season. The red zone every year is its own new year. They move the football 20-20 all day long against the Colts. Did you see anything there on film that maybe, or even while you were watching them during the game, that maybe they could have taken advantage of in the red zone?
Well, no, I mean, they moved it even further down. They got in the low red zone, too. The first thing that has to happen is if you're going to run it in, you got to block people, okay? I mean, that's number one. And then number two, if you're going to throw it, you still got to block people so you have time, and then you've got to separate. I didn't break it down seeing exactly what happened. I mean, you had the one pass that was open that Henry missed, but you can't blame, Henry a whole lot for that. It was a great play design. He just threw it a little high. Hop made a great effort to get a hold of it. Just he got his feet down. It was just a little too high for him. But to me, I mean, it still goes back to now. This, and our listeners do too. The red zone, everything squeezes down, so everything has to happen faster. for you offensively in the red zone, and you have to make very, very quick decisions down there. That's why defensively you play different. I mean, there's a difference in playing cover 2 out in the middle of the field than there is playing red 2 down, inside. There's a difference in playing box technique down there in the red zone as there is in playing, the triangle technique out on the field in coverage. Everything's squeezed down there, but your decisions have to be quick. They have to be precise. And then you cannot have if you're going to throw it, you can't have any penetration down there because those throws have to come out so quick that you have to be sure that you got a hat on a hat really, really fast. And so, to me, that's a big key, for success for this ball game and really for the rest of them. They are moving the football. I thought the throwing game was as good as it's been. They were moving the football down the field, but you have to score touchdowns in the red zone because score separation in this league is paramount, and you could see where it hurt us there at Indy.
Coach, on the way out, I know we talked some about the Ravens offense and what they're good at. The Ravens defense, they got a young DC. It's like 36 years old, but they're good at everything.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter how old you are as a defensive coordinator if your players are good.
Yeah.
I mean, it really doesn't. And they are playing really good defense, but that's kind of been their mantle since they've been there. I mean, all you've got to do is start looking back, and regardless, they've got the same head coach there for a long time, so they have got something they have to live up to defensively there. Now, they've got good players on that defense. And the other thing that's helping them, as I said, I think, with the way the offense is being able to move the football now, it used to be you could load up against the run, back in the day, against Lamar Jackson and just say, okay, go ahead and throw it. Well, the way they're doing it now, two-dimensionally, running it, and his throwing has really, really improved. Well, then, as you're playing defense, you've got to understand if they're going to move their ball on offense and you get a score separation, then you've got a chance to do some things. And I'm very impressed. This is a good football team. It's a very good football team. As I said, I watched that last game. It would have been a much different result without those 9 drops on offense, I promise you.
Coach, enjoy the trip. Is there one thing that you most look forward to on these trips? Is it meeting the international fans? Is it the stuff you get to eat? Is it things you get to see? What does Coach Mack enjoy most about international NFL trips?
Well, I've been fortunate enough, as I said, to be over there, quite a few times. What I enjoy now, I mean, when I was coaching, you just look forward to the game.
Right.
Because now with what I'm doing, I look forward to mixing with our fans over there. I mean, I really look forward to that because we'll have a big following over there, just like we had a big following up there in Indianapolis. And, I went to an event, the night before with the fans. I mean, I get to do that now in what I'm doing, and I'm looking forward to that. Absolutely looking forward to that. And then, broadcasting games over there, since I've done it with Titans Radio, it's always fun, and it's a lot more fun when we win.
Coach, enjoy the trip, and can't wait to hear about all of it when we join you this same time next week. Thank you, sir.
Guys, appreciate both of you. See you guys.
Appreciate, Coach.
One and only Coach Mack. All right, when we come back, a wild scheduling quirk for the Titans. I got to looking ahead last night. I noticed something kind of crazy. A wild scheduling quirk for the Tennessee Titans. We'll tell you about it next.
You were quirky?
Way to Mickey 1045 The Zone. I'll give you a bonus scheduling quirk. Nashville Predators open the entire NHL season this afternoon at the Lightning.
Oh, wait. It's at 4:30.
4:30.
Yeah.
Hey, man, good news. Y'all are playing the first game. Bad news, it's at 4:30. You're going to have to be at the rink early, boys. Preds, tonight, 4:30. Everything gets started. Here you go. Preds get the first crack at this NHL regular season. And here's my Titan scheduling quirk. We had a couple of phone calls while Coach Mack was on. If you want to sneak those in, 615-737-1045.
I want to ask Coach Mack which middle linebacker we take. Dick Butkus, Mike Singletary, or Ray Lewis? Ooh.
Well, that's tough.
I knew I have you.
The position had evolved so much by the time it got to Ray, like just what he looked like and what he could do physically. He looked like a different person than the people from the 60s. But there's no modern NFL linebacking without Butkus. Like all the linebacker awards are literally the Butkus awards. And I know we didn't get to see him play, but man, I've been an insomniac my whole life. I've watched more NFL films on Butkus.
But you felt like you watched him play.
Oh gosh, I've watched everything about him.
Highlights of
yes,
him and everything.
right. I mean, just the name Dick Butkus. That's a football name.
Oh man, he was dirty and nasty. He would get penalized all the time, and if he played.
Mike Singletary's pretty darn good, too, though. He was. Coach Mack got to coach him. I mean, he got to coach Mike Singletary. It was his birthday yesterday, too. It was Singletary's birthday.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can ask Mack about that maybe next week. He's got a story for everything. This is my story about the Titans. Do you guys know when the last time the Titans won a road game? You know the answer to this. Mr. Braves had it there. I bet he knows. You'd have to know this.
Against the Atlanta Falcons. No.
No.
I know. I thought you were giving me hints.
It was a game that all the good times ended after that. Somebody had too many good times, apparently,
It was the Green Bay
plane
Packers
on the
game.
way back. It was the Green Bay Packers
Boy,
game.
you try to throw the guy in somebody had too much of a good time.
I mean, just slipping that in.
You are wrong for that.
I'm just slipping that in. Not Trop says GB in the F&M BC. That's bank chat. I'm rolling with you there. So I got to thinking about this. It seems like a really weird stretch where they don't play at home. The Titans have won. They have one.
This month.
No. They have one true home game. Because you pointed out this earlier. This is what made me think, like, I wrote this down in my notes. I have to bring this up. You were like, well, I mean, this is a home game, in London Sunday. It's a home game for the Titans. It's a home game.
So we win our home game. That was kind of the joke.
So, they haven't won a road game since last November 17th in Green Bay. That's the last time they won. So we're almost at a full calendar year since they've won a game not at Nissan Stadium. I almost said at Adelphia Coliseum. I almost just said that. They have one true home game in 56 days of schedule. Now, think about that. All the tailgaters and the people who like to go to
That's
Nissan.
a month and a half.
I mean, it's really 4 days short of 2 months.
Oh, dang. So that means we're going to.
Do you ever remember anything like that where you just told your family, like, hey, man, I'm just not going to be home for the next 6 weeks. We're going to go play somewhere else.
Weekend.
Yep.
Not the whole entire time.
The only one that they have at home is the Atlanta Tennessee Titans come here October 29th. Art Smith and all of the former Titans. I'm hoping he can sign a couple more by then. That's the only one in 56 days. They played at home against the Bengals on October 1st. They don't play other than the one time against the Atlanta Tennessee Titans. That's the only time they play at home other than or all the way up until the Panthers come here on November 26th. From October 1st to November 26th, they have one game at Nissan Stadium.
Oh, they trying to bamboozle us.
That's a terrible scheduling quirk to do to a team.
The one upside to that is if you get through that road or that away from home stretch, you close out the season with a lot of home games, don't you?
I would assume like 3 or 4 in a row.
And so if you can string a couple wins together in that road stretch, you're going to have at least some advantage.
I think it's basically 5 of 7 to close out the season.
I
So
mean, that's
you do get the momentum, but here's the thing.
Got to get there.
You got to get there.
Yeah.
You know, we all thought, how do they make it through the first 6 games? Could they be 3 and if they were 3-3? If they finish this thing 3-3, this first gauntlet,
I'd be like, phew.
if they roll back with a win, I'll be like, good. They're square, 3-3, whatever happens from here. But if they show up 2-6, and then they play 2-4 rather, and then they play one home game in 56 days, I mean, you could end that with a bunch of dudes not being part of the current plan anymore.
Yeah, they checking out.
I mean, who would be the quarterback?
at what record would you say that thought creeps in?
That is the $1 million question right there. At what point? Because as a caller brought up one day, we kicked this open, and the caller, it was either somebody in the chat or called in and said, here's the only thing to kind of throw away the record. You're only as good or bad as the AFC South. What if everybody's 500? Well, you're not going to. If you're 502 or close to it, you'll be like, we still got a chance. I almost think it would be till they're eliminated, whatever that looks like. Now, you get eliminated, I would, all bets are off. I would have the wildest week of competition between Willis and Levis. I'd have them out there trying to win that job.
They both will be playing in the game some form or fashion.
Yeah. It'd be like a preseason game. You can get half, you get a half, whatever it is. The winner of the competition. Once they get eliminated, it's what I've kind of pushed upon myself. So if the Jags start to run away with this, or the Colts or somebody, or there's 5 games left and this gauntlet just kills you, okay. I mean, once you get eliminated, I would take all bets are off. I'd get everybody as much playing time as I could. I'd figure out the quarterback for next year. I'd have Spears out there running buck wild. That's what I would do. I'd be playing for the future. Not now, though. I'm playing for right now. Now. Unfortunately, our right now is now over because now it's time for 3HL.
So in the meantime,
In between time,
peace. I mean, right now.
"40 years ago, we opened our doors with one mission in mind:
We'll be right back with the top 10 songs of 1983.
to sell quality American-made vehicles at a fair price.
You have arrived.
And we've loved every minute of the ride. Celebrating 40 years of Two Rivers Ford.